Hi, thanks for coming back to see our fun texture lesson today. We're going to talk about surface qualities, which means that's how something either looks to you or actually feels to you when you view it or touch it. Textures are everywhere. We're surrounded by them. A lot of times visual textures, when you're just looking at them, are actually patterns. When you look at something, the pattern causes a textural response in your brain. So what we want to talk about are the two different types today. There's a simulated texture, and that's when you look at a photograph or a painting or something that's come on the computer screen, and you know that that seal is wet and smooth. You know that that kitten is soft. You know if you rub your hand down the side of that tree, it's going to be very scratchy. So it's the way your brain communicates visually. It gives you the impression of what you can feel. Sometimes there's things that you can actually look at and smell as well. It's not textural, but it's the way our senses all work together as a team. So once you're visually aware of these things, when you're doing your artwork, you can recreate those. When your mind has stored all of these things, it makes it actually easier. So actual texture is something completely different, and it's much easier to understand and deal with and replicate. I have a texture board which was made many moons ago. You can, well, I guess for you it is now, it's simulated because you're looking at it and your brain is telling you what it feels like. But don't worry, we'll be making our own and you'll be able to feel your own. The difference in the feel of these will create the overall concept in your artwork when you're doing it. Sometimes when painters paint, they use a painter's palette knife, which they do it very thickly, and you can actually feel that paint. Sometimes even when we do paintings with tempera paints, it'll dry and it'll be a little bit thicker in some spots than other, and that's an actual texture. Now, sculptures are all, when you touch them, you can feel that smooth marble, or if it's made out of cement, you're going to feel that texture on it. It creates, what's the word? When the viewer's looking at it, depending on the type of texture is the type of mood and feeling that it's going. If you're going to do, say, a giant butterfly and you use barbed wire, that's going to be this like tough kind of out there butterfly. When you're using marble and something smooth and beautiful, you're going to see that beautiful soft concept. So depending on the texture that you use in your artwork, you will create that feeling and that mood, whether it be, just like our lines, they have all kind of moods that we talked about. The same thing with texture. It will determine how your artwork is viewed. So I hope you're ready, buckle your seatbelts. Miss Linda's got a texture train coming. I've got 3 different projects for you to do, and they're all really fun, and they will all totally help you with the way your mind looks at things and stores things for you to use later. So let's go have some fun. So now that we've learned the difference between simulated texture and actual texture, I'm going to give you a quick lesson on creating simulated. It's going to take you not too much time. You're going to divide your paper. Let's see if I can do this. First, take a look at mine. Soft, willowy. This would probably, if it was a tree trunk, maybe be scratchy. If it was just something like cooked pasta, it would be soft. This little dot could be sandpaper. This could be just whirly confetti. This could be something that was prickly, maybe another cactus or something. don't want you to stress about this. I want you to be free. This is almost like a warm-up. So what I'm going to do is, if you just section it into very irregular 6 pieces, remember, not machines, we don't need rulers for this, and then just think about how you would like to create your texture. When you repeat the pattern, you're going to actually get that texture. If it was just one line, that's not really a texture. You need to have several lines. I'm going to do the grab, pinch, and swoosh, making something soft, say, and then I could do there. So when you're done with this and you're comfortable with it, I'm going to have you move on to something that's super fun. I did show you my texture board in the very beginning. I'm going to take it and give you a close-up look. We'll have a picture of it for you, but there's nothing like seeing and hearing. This is soft, but it sounds hard. Now, we all know what this is going to do. Good for the fingernails as well. And this doesn't have a sound, but it's kind of a fun feeling. I don't know if I could describe it. Spidery? This is super soft. This is actually a piece of a very old blanket. Everyone knows what fun foam is. That's very soft. And then this is actually silk. So this is extremely soft. So we're going to do a slow run by. And then I have a project for you. First, we need to promise Miss Linda that we are going to ask our parents or grown-ups or whoever's in charge if we can use these things that we're going to hunt and find. Now, I like to reuse things. So you could cut this and use this for your texture board that we're going to create. You could use an old file folder. And today what I'm going to use is another piece of corrugated cardboard. You have to be calling me Miss Corrugated Cardboard Linda because I'm using it quite a bit, but it's also recycling. So you're going to go through your house and you're going to find things with texture. Say this sponge right here. It actually has 3 different types of texture. You've got the scratchy, you've got the spongy here, and then you've got the open sponge here. Now this could be cut and put down if you choose. I found these, and I think these are great. In fact, this is my treasure box, and I'm actually going to use part of this treasure box as my texture board. So I've got these. One side is rounded, and again, sound. Sound has a lot to do with it. And then this side, it's a little different. So I'll use one this way, one this way. Okay, who doesn't have these little plastic toys at home? Total smooth, kind of bumpy, almost scratchy texture. Now, I glued 2 of these together earlier because, hear that? That's a texture in itself. Now, if you put these down like this, let's gather all those up, and those are glued down, you're going to get a completely different texture. It's actually a little picky. Actually, a Asian pear came in this to protect fruit, but besides being awfully fun and beautiful, it's got a really nice texture. It's not rough at all. It's super soft. Then again, on the very top, this is very prickly. Make up your own words when you're doing it too. And then the bubble wrap. Everybody's got bubble wrap, right? This right here is cotton from the inside of a vitamin bottle. It's super soft. I actually was having a hard time finding soft things when I was looking around my own house here. And then this is a piece of tree bark. This is actually both simulated because when you're looking at it, you know that that's going to be rough. But then when you actually touch it with your finger and you feel that texture, and I whacked it with a rock and it actually cut into a perfect rectangle. I was pretty impressed. So once you have these, and this is what got me thinking of the idea. This is also an egg carton. Let's see if my safety scissors can do this. All right, I'm not giving up. Sorry for the noise. Well, let's just do 2. I know this will be easier. No, there we go. Oh, don't quit now, Miss Linda. Ah, success. Now I have my finger stuck in my... Now this also is super soft. And then actually these are rough, but we're not gonna do those. So when you're doing these, you can staple. This is a hand stapler. I love this. When I found this, I was so excited. You would have thought I found a diamond ring on the floor. You can glue with the very strong glue. I would not recommend the glue stick as it doesn't really hold as well. I'm big on stapling things, so I'm going to move these off. Give you a quick example, very quick. So I think I can use my favorite stapler. Now I am surrounded by texture. Let's see, stay here. This is when you could use a third hand. Staple, got it. Now, I'm not sure if I can get this one, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna flatten this out and give it a squeeze. That's what you call when you actually have control over it. We'll leave that popped up. Hopefully this one will be better. Miss Linda's just doing these for the first time. My other texture board I did a long time ago. All right, now this is the great thing about this. I can do it this way. So I'm going to do it that way. It's for thick things. Boom, done. Now, let's see if I can use some glue on some stuff. This is too big, don't you think? It would take up the whole thing. So let's cut it in a circle because they're all circles. And it would look really cool on our texture board. All right, again, I'm going to staple because it's easier right now for me. Glue takes a while to dry. Glue is a really good option, but it takes a while to dry. Oh, and then this. This actually came as a gift from some flowers from a friend of mine, and it's really scratchy. Now you can wind it up if you like on your texture board and glue it, but you're going to have to hold it and let that glue dry. You're going to have to be patient. Or you could just cut a piece off and put it there and then line it up, because remember, one piece will give you a texture, a texture, but you need a pattern in order to get the complete feeling of the texture. So moving on from that, I know I told you we were going to be on the texture train, and I wasn't kidding you. I'm going to move all of my glues and everything off to the side and my large egg cartons. I'll use the white glue for this because we don't need anything heavy. So we drew simulated texture. We're going to make our own texture boards and have fun with it. Look around, get permission, inside and outside. When I found the bark, I was super happy. Toys. Now, this is actually making a texture board. I had so much, I love doing this. Every one of these is different. And again, Miss Linda and her sound, you've got to hear it and feel it. And actually, I'm big on smelling things too, because that has a sensory aid to things. So we're using just regular printer paper. If you don't have printer paper, or if you don't have colored paper right now, you can use the printer paper and find a grocery bag and use this paper to be your contrasting color. It's really good. It's got really good movement, and actually it has a texture in its own on the top as well. So I will use a white paper right now, but I will also demonstrate using that. Take your time cutting. Because you're making patterns, you want them to be similar. So you don't want to have, well, you could. You could have one piece very thin. And if you notice when Miss Linda cuts, I hold it, and I'm also actually moving the paper as I cut with the scissors. It helps to move the paper when you're cutting. Now, I have 3 strips. I have a choice of going curly and soft, bristly, zigzaggy, pointy, and these actually are the centerpieces that I cut out of here. I'm big on save your scraps because you don't know how else you're going to use them for something. So let's just do a loopy. So I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to wrap it. Well, I'm going to try to wrap it and spin it. And as I'm spinning it, I'm giving it a little pinch. All right. This one did not cooperate with the rolling, so I will do it again. Remember, you have control over your materials. Make them do what you want. This is similar to that, but I'm going to cut it and have it sticking straight up. When you glue things down, you need to make a shelf or a foot in order to hold that up. If you just try to glue it like this, it's not going to do it. So let's get our white glue. Put enough of it on there. Miss Linda has a saying, a little goes a long way. Obviously, I don't have it open enough. If you could have seen my face, I was making that face when you're trying to do something and it's like, "Arr." So again, hold it down, count to 10. If it doesn't work like that, press it again, pull it up, pinch it, bend it. You have to manipulate the paper. When you manipulate something, it means that you are making it do something that it naturally wouldn't do. Now, I would suggest having a little wet cloth for your fingers. I don't, so I'm going to use my sponge. And let's do this again. Oh, there's another way to do this. And please ask for help. You can open your scissors and you take your thumb and hold it and very gently pull. Ta-da, you have a curly Q. So I could put that this way also. Now this one I would put the glue on the board and then I would press it down and hold it. Count to 10, count to 10. I'm not going to count to 10 because I don't want to waste everyone's time. Now the zigzag ones are a little more work. You have to take your time with your scissors. Let's do this little grassy one here. So I'm going to fold it. When you fold your paper and your cut, guess what? You get 2 for 1. And then I'm going to cut it in half again and I'll have 4 rows. So watch your fingers behind. They don't have to be perfect, but if you're holding it and your eyes are making your mind work, you can do it. It's all about patience. Now what I'm going to do is cut this in half again. Let's find the middle point. All right. So I have this. This is not going to sit very well with that point. If you look at this one, I made a little square. So you're going to open it up, fold it, and pinch. Pinching paper is really important when you want it to do what you want it to do. All right. Did you see I made one side? And I'm going to pinch it again. And this is actually a foot. We've made a bottom. We've made a flat bottom for it to glue. Pardon me, all these tricks, all these ways of doing things. Now, I'm going to use my pencil as a tool. I'm going to press this down with my pencil so that I can pinch this up. Use what's around you. We have a little stubborn one, so we're just going to let him be attached. So pointy, zigzaggy, kind of fluffy. The only thing that you really aren't going to be able to get is something like this. I imagine, let's try it. If you have an idea, try it. Don't think. And if it doesn't work, then at least you tried it. Let's try if I scrumple this up. I'm either going to get a really pointy, or I can get something soft. Oh, let's see. Open, open, open. Oh, you know, that's kind of soft. So what I have to do is make a couple of feet, a couple of shelves, so that I can glue this so it's a dome, so it is actually soft. Let's see if my experiment worked. If you've got an idea, try it. All it can do is say, nope, that didn't work. Now I need some room. All right, 1, 2, again, the need for another hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then this little foot was being... All right, let's see. You do have to have patience and wait till it dries, and if we had an hour, I could do that, but it's going to be soft when we're done. So your texture board should be appealing to look at. It should be patterns. Now I've only done one of each, just so that we don't sit here all day and watch me cut paper. Don't forget to make sure that there is a bottom, whether it's a foot or a shelf, something like this, to hold it up. Sometimes you'll actually even have to make a double shelf, and that's even stronger. So experiment and practice. Don't feel bad if you want to crumple up some paper when you are looking to make your actual textured boards, and please do it, because when you're doing something like this, when you're putting together a texture board, every time you look at something now, your brain is going to recognize its texture, whether you're touching it or not. You're going to know if that's soft or hard. And when you do your artwork, that's going to be the foundation of how you let the audience or the viewer, the person who's looking at it, understand what you're trying to come across. If you draw a cat, let them know that it's soft. If you're drawing a cactus, they're going to know not to touch it. So when you're done with this, you're going to have a lot of cleanup to do. Make sure you close your glue, and my suggestion is once the glue is closed, wipe the top, because otherwise you're going to get this little crust on the top, and that's kind of frustrating when you're trying to use it and it won't come out. Throw all your scraps of paper away, put your texture board somewhere safe, and scissors always put away. I told you we were going to have a train load of texture, and now is the time to go over it one more time with you. This will be yours, and you're going to get what? Yes, permission to use anything. And you know, whoever helps you is going to have a really good time, and you will love this. Finish your texture paperboard that you've done. Create different types of feeling and textures. And before you begin any of that, don't forget to do your simulated texture where you're actually drawing it yourself. I have had a blast. I love texture. I love just about everything that we've learned in our foundation class. I know that the journey was, I know it was fun. And I know you learn things. And it's essential, or it's really important to learn these things before we just really go out of the box and do all kind of things that you never thought you could do. I'm thrilled to have done this with you, and I'm looking forward to our series coming up. Hopefully you've shared this with those you love and those you know. I'm really big on you extending your knowledge, what you know, with other people. It'll make you feel really good. It makes me feel really good. So thanks again.